We've got updates on Marcus Rashford. It looks pretty certain that he's going to Barcelona. He scored a good free kick for them yesterday. Baleba's already said yes to Manchester United. The green light is there. Terms are agreed. It looks like Baleba will be Manchester United's next signing, but probably not until the summer. We're going to talk about what I believe has been Manchester United's best move in years, the upgrade in the attack and some of the business that we have done and why I'm very happy with that. Nathaniel Brown has been linked to Manchester United again, £40 million, some sources are saying, which for me is a good deal. I think that's something we might explore in the summer. We've got more updates on Cole Palmer. Are Manchester United going to go for Cole Palmer? Came off the bench versus Napoli yesterday, got 2 assists, did quite well, clearly still playing with an injury. Updates on Xerxes exit. There's been links to Crystal Palace, there's been links to Roma, and now there's links to Fenerbahce. I'm going to say this in regards to Xerxes exit. Permanent bid, United say yes. Loan deal, I'm not sure if United agree to that. And then we'll talk about Kobbie Mainoo. Didn't start a single Premier League game all season. Has started our last 2 games where we've got back-to-back wins and actually covered the most distance in those 2 games and seems to be proving Ruben Amorim pretty wrong. So, hello, and welcome back to Alice Talks Football, and welcome back to your 10-minute Manchester United news, transfer news, and update roundup show. But I'm going to round up all the latest Manchester United news that you need to know into 10 minutes. I do apologise, I have a bit of a cold today. I'm feeling a little bit rough, so hopefully I don't start coughing in this video, and I do apologise if my voice is just very croaky. But yeah, let's dive into the news. So, there's been rumours that Barcelona won't pay for Rashford, or Barcelona don't want Rashford, this and that, and then they're just not true. As Romano has said, Barcelona are intent on keeping Rashford. The intention was communicated to Rashford's camp in January. There's nothing formal yet. They've not triggered his €30 million release clause, which is £26 million, but they plan to open talks with United later this year to find a solution. Rashford and Barca are happy together. Flick wants him to stay. Rashford's doing well at Barcelona. Flick wants him to stay. Barcelona want Rashford. This is the problem. Rashford's going to cost £26 million. Fair price, good price. I think that's a very good deal for Rashford, and I think there's many clubs that would pay £26 million in a heartbeat for Rashford. But we're Man United. Barcelona go, this Man United desperate to sell. They're desperate to get rid. And I think if Amorim was here, because they know that Rashford only wants Barcelona and Man United would be so desperate to offload Rashford if Amorim was still here, Barcelona know they could probably get him for like less than 26 million, which is ridiculous because I think we should be getting 40 million for him for Barcelona. I think the fact that they're saying 26 million is too much is ridiculous. I think they're trying it on because they know we're desperate to get rid of him, and Rashford only wants Barcelona, so they're trying it on. The good thing is we're going back to a 4-3-3. We might bring a manager in the summer that wants Rashford, and we'll say to them, well, if you don't pay out, we'll happily take him back. The problem is Rashford will probably not want to come back, and he'll probably push for that move to Barca to be permanent. But I think the one positive Amorim going is I think we're more likely to get Barcelona to pay 26 million. They can pay 26 million. They don't want to. They want to see if they can get him cheaper because they know we're desperate to get rid of Rashford. And don't get me wrong, I think it would be better for Rashford to go to Barcelona than come back to Manchester United. I think his head's at Barcelona. But I think that's one thing we can use to our advantages. Now that Amorim is gone, we can just say to Barcelona, even if the new coach doesn't want Rashford, we could just say, oh, we're playing a 4-3-3, we need a left winger, so we might take Rashford back if you don't pay up. And hopefully that puts pressure on Barcelona to pay up because they want Rashford. They just want to get him for as cheap as possible. So let's talk about Carlos Baleba. So Team Talk Be the One Football app sort of spoke about a few reports on Baleba that come out from the Mail and the likes of people, and they had basically said that Baleba could be the first United deal complete. Baleba could be our next sort of deal. They're talking more of the summer. They don't believe it's going to happen in January. A lot of people say this is a summer thing. They said that confidence is growing that Brighton are going to sell for less than 100 million. There's obviously rumours of 75 million being a price tag, and they feel this could be done in the summer. Reports claim that personal terms were agreed and Baleba greenlit the move. There is reports that United have a gentleman's agreement with Baleba behind the scenes. He'd already kind of agreed terms, agreed wages, and greenlit the move back in the summer. He wants to play alongside Mbeumo at Old Trafford, and United's midfield push is accelerated by Casemiro's exit this summer. So Casemiro's leaving. Baleba's already given like a green light to Manchester United. Brighton are going to lower the fee. There is a belief that Baleba has already said yes to United. You know, we're not confident we can get Anderson and Wharton, but we are confident we can get Baleba because of what's been agreed behind the scenes. So there is a feeling with Baleba, like, look, the terms are essentially agreed, and he will be our next signing. And that will happen in the summer. I'd be very sure it's going to happen in January. But I feel quite confident we're going to get Baleba. The only way we don't get Baleba is maybe if Anderson and Wharton both pick us and we say, you know what, they're in better form than Baleba. But even Wharton's dropped off a bit lately. But let's let's talk about let's talk about Man United's best move in years. So I wanted to not just talk about transfer news, I just wanted to talk about the upgrade. Because I saw someone tweet the other day, in Mbeumo's 1v1 he had to score the first goal against Arsenal. Someone said if Garnacho was in that position, he would have missed that chance. And they're right, he would have missed the chance. If you look at Mbeumo's chance versus City, Garnacho misses that. If you look at Mbeumo's chance versus Arsenal, Garnacho misses that. Hojlund ain't scoring Cunha's goal versus Arsenal either. When you look at Cunha coming off versus City, getting the assist, should have been getting 2 assists. He was robbed, was offside for Mount's goals, never offside. But when you look at the difference between Mbeumo and Cunha and Garnacho and Hojlund, we've upgraded. We were happy with Garnacho and Hojlund and their potential in that Ten Hag season, but actually, we've mad upgraded. Cunha's been hit and miss at times, but in the big games, the quality is there. We've mad upgraded. I know Hojlund scored yesterday in the Champions League, but Hojlund and Garnacho have been pretty average at Chelsea and Napoli. And Bruno and Cunha are better players. We look better in attack. We have the second highest XG. We have scored so many goals. And I think, moving on Garnacho and Hojlund for some Prem-proven players in Cunha and Mbeumo is probably the best bit of business we've done in years. I think this is our best move since Bruno Fernandes. I think this is our best general thing that Manchester United have done since signing Bruno Fernandes, because Cunha, the goals from outside the box, and Mbeumo is just clinical. We know that Garnacho was not clinical in those 1v1s, and Mbeumo is clinical. He finishes it, Cunha can hold the ball quite well. We used to give the ball to Hojlund, he used to kick it away. Cunha can hold the ball, win back the ball, keep the ball in tight spaces. I love these two guys. I love Cunha, I love Mbeumo. We've also got Ahmad. I still think there's a good player in Sesko. Le Mans has been impressive. I have to say, I'm quite happy with the Manchester United squad. But obviously, we're going to need left. We're going to need a left back long term if we move towards this 4-2-3-1. And we know we need midfielders. We've spoken about Baleba a million times, but we have been linked again to Nathaniel Brown. Man United have stepped up their search for a new left-back after sending senior scouts to watch Eintracht Frankfurt star Nathaniel Brown. He played Tottenham yesterday. Brown is tied to Frankfurt until 2030, yet sources close to the club expect him to move this summer. Any deals is likely to cost in excess of 40 million. I'm guessing he goes to Bayern. Best left-back in the Bundesliga, German. I'm guessing goes to Bayern. This guy's a Nuno Mendes regen. For me, this is the Luke Shaw replacement. I don't want to spend more than 40 million on a left-back. I think nobody does. But I think that is the Luke Shaw replacement. For me, I want to spend 150 to 180 million on 2 elite midfielders. 2 elite midfielders, I'm talking Anderson, Baleba. I want a 50, 60 million left winger in Njai. And then I would like a 30 probably million left back that could maybe cover left centre back for depth. And I think that would be a good window. If Bruno leaves, then we're going to need a number 10. But I like Nathaniel Brown. I think he's a literal regen of Nuno Mendes. And if United got him, I'd be happy. I just don't want to spend a ridiculous amount on the left back. But we are watching him. He's one to watch. I still think he's going to go Bayern. Talking of Bruno leaving and talking of Bruno replacements, I think if Bruno leaves, Cole Palmer would be that replacement. But it has been said that United will not move for Cole Palmer, and those reasons are that the bosses know that Palmer is out of the club's price range. He's got this ridiculously long contract at Chelsea. They're not planning to sell him, and an attacking midfielder is not on the club's list of priorities. My hope is we get Champions League football. Because we get Champions League football, Bruno is happy and decides to stay. My hope is we get Champions League football and Bruno stays. My hope, and a lot of my belief of if that's going to happen is going to depend on Fulham. I'm going to be honest. I think if we get Champions League football, Bruno stays. We don't look at Palmer. I think we look at Palmer next summer in 2027 potentially. But Fulham is the biggest test. Now, Fulham are actually the second most informed team in the league over the last 5 games with points picked up. It's not going to be an easy game. They've been playing some good stuff. I look at Fulham and I go, that is our test. This is at home against a low block. We're now expected to dominate possession. We've now got to take control of the game. We've now got to break a team down. What are Man United going to produce versus Fulham? Because we can beat City and we can beat Arsenal. We beat Liverpool earlier in the season. What are we going to do in a game where we're expected to dominate the ball? That is the big question for the Fulham game. And I think if we beat Fulham and I see United breaking down Fulham and playing some good football, I think we will get top 4. And that sounds crazy because that's just 3 get top 5 even. Top 5 gets you Champions League pretty much because literally every English club is qualified for the next round. Unless every English club loses their next game, fifth is basically the Premier League have got it. So fifth should get you Champions League football. I think we're competing with Chelsea and Liverpool for fourth and fifth. Liverpool keep getting injuries. They're not investing. Chelsea and Liverpool have 2 games a week as well. We have 1 game a week. I think if we beat Fulham and put in a convincing performance, I think we'll get Champions League football. And I think Bruno could stay if we get Champions League football. In terms of other news, it has been said that Fenerbahce have added Xerxes to their list and would like to do a loan deal, but I don't think Man United are going to entertain loan deals. And then obviously stats are coming out that Kobbie Mainoo covered the most distance versus Arsenal City for Manchester United. And Paul Scholes even said, Kobbie Mainoo and Bruno Fernandes in your team, they make you play football. And he's right. I think, to say that Kobbie must compete with Bruno, it's one or the other, which Amrin said was crazy. I think you need them both and a stable DM behind them to get the best out of the midfield. Anyway, thank you everyone for watching today's video. See you next time. Bye.